What if the next Jefferson nickel you find is worth a fortune? This channel is all about rare 5-cent coins, valuable mint errors, and incredible discoveries that shocked collectors around the world. One coin, one tiny detail, and one unbelievable value could change everything. The 2016 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark. It has been used in everyday transactions, passed from one hand to another, collecting light scratches along the way. The shine has faded slightly, the details are softened from circulation, and it sits in what collectors would call fine condition. To almost everyone, it's just another nickel worth 5 cents. But what if that same coin could actually be worth $60,000 in today's auction market? That is where the story becomes truly unbelievable. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American currency for generations. Since its introduction in 1938, it has become one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. The 2016 issue, struck at the Denver Mint and carrying the D mint mark, was produced in massive quantities. Millions upon millions were made, meaning these coins are still easy to find in everyday change. Most people spend them without thinking. They sit unnoticed in jars, wallets, and cash registers across the country. But hidden among those ordinary nickels are a few rare examples that stand out because of unique minting errors and unusual features. Now take a closer look at this specific 2016 D Jefferson nickel. The surface shows clear signs of use. Small scratches cover parts of the coin. The metallic luster is slightly worn, and the edges reveal years of circulation. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson is still clearly visible, and the reverse design of Monticello remains recognizable, even though the sharpness has softened over time. The coin looks ordinary, and that is exactly why stories like this are so exciting. Sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones people ignore every single day. One of the first things collectors check when examining a coin is its weight. A standard Jefferson nickel should weigh approximately 5.0 grams. This detail might seem insignificant, but it can reveal something extraordinary. If the coin weighs even slightly more or less than expected, it may indicate a minting error. Some coins are accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, while others may experience production mistakes during minting. These small differences are often the first clue that a coin could be worth far more than its face value. The real reason a coin like this can reach such an incredible value comes down to rarity and minting errors. During the minting process, even the smallest mistake can create a coin that becomes highly desirable to collectors. Some 2016 D Jefferson nickels have been discovered with doubled dies, where parts of the design appear duplicated. Others have off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual textures caused during production. There are even cases where coins are struck on incorrect planchets, creating a completely different appearance and weight. These errors are rare because the United States Mint has strict quality control. Most mistakes are caught before coins leave the mint. But every now and then, a few error coins slip through and enter circulation unnoticed. That is what makes them so valuable. Collectors know how difficult they are to find, especially on modern coins. Now imagine the moment someone discovers this coin. It might be lying at the bottom of a jar filled with loose change. Maybe it's handed over during a quick purchase at a convenience store. At first glance, nothing seems unusual. But then something catches the eye. Maybe the design looks slightly doubled. Maybe the coin feels different in weight. Maybe the strike alignment looks unusual. That moment of curiosity changes everything. The coin is taken for closer examination. Under magnification, the unusual features become more noticeable. Experts carefully inspect the design, the edges, and the overall strike quality. They weigh the coin and compare it to standard specifications. After detailed analysis, the experts confirm that the coin carries a genuine mint error. In that moment, the coin transforms from an ordinary 5-cent piece into a rare collectible with enormous value. What was once overlooked pocket change suddenly becomes the center of attention among collectors. As word spreads, excitement grows rapidly in the coin collecting community. A rare 2016 D Jefferson nickel with a significant minting error is not something seen every day. Collectors understand that modern error coins can be extremely valuable, especially when verified by professional grading services. Soon, the coin is prepared for auction, where serious buyers are eager to compete for ownership. The auction begins quietly, but the excitement quickly builds. Bidders recognize the rarity of the coin and begin placing higher offers. The value climbs from hundreds to thousands, and then into tens of thousands of dollars. Each bid increases the tension in the room. The scratches and signs of circulation no longer matter. What matters is the rarity, the verified error, and the uniqueness of the coin. This is no longer just a nickel. It is a modern treasure created by a small mistake during production. As the auction reaches its final moments, the competition becomes intense. Collectors push the price higher and higher, determined not to miss the opportunity. And then, in a moment that feels almost impossible, the final bid reaches $60,000. A circulated 2016 Jefferson nickel in fine condition has turned into a life-changing discovery. A coin once worth only 5 cents is now valued like a luxury car or even a house down payment. It is hard to believe that such a small and modern coin could hold so much value. But that is the beauty of coin collecting. It proves that rarity is not always about age. Even coins made recently can become incredibly valuable if they contain the right features and minting errors. What makes this story even more exciting is the possibility that coins like this are still out there, hidden in plain sight, sitting in drawers, jars, vending machines, or even your own pocket right now. Most people never examine their coins closely enough to notice unusual details. But sometimes those tiny differences can mean everything. If you ever come across a 2016 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, don't ignore it. Take a closer look at the design, the strike, and even the weight. Even in fine circulated condition with scratches and wear, it could still hold incredible value if it has the right rare characteristics. A professional evaluation could reveal something truly surprising. This next coin. The 2007 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark. It has been used in everyday life, passed from one hand to another, collecting light scratches and wear along the way. The shine has faded slightly, the edges show signs of circulation, and the details are softened from years of use. It sits in what collectors would call fine condition. To almost everyone, it's just a simple nickel worth 5 cents. But what if that same coin could actually be worth $80,000 in today's auction market? That's where the story becomes truly incredible. The Jefferson nickel has been one of the most familiar coins in American currency for decades. Since its introduction in 1,938 billions have been produced, and the 2007 issue from the Philadelphia Mint is no exception. Carrying the small P mint mark, these coins were made in huge quantities and released into circulation across the country. Most people spent them without a second thought. Some ended up in coin jars. Others disappeared into vending machines or cash registers. Because they are so common, very few people ever stop to examine them closely. But hidden among millions of ordinary nickels are a few rare pieces that collectors dream about finding. Now take a closer look at this specific 2007 P Jefferson nickel. The coin clearly shows signs of circulation. Small scratches cover parts of the surface. The metallic luster is slightly dull, and the edges reveal years of handling. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson remains visible, while the Monticello building on the reverse side still stands out clearly despite the wear. The coin looks ordinary, and that is exactly what makes stories like this so exciting. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight. One of the first things serious collectors examine is the coin's weight. A standard Jefferson nickel should weigh approximately 5.0 grams. That detail might sound simple, but it is extremely important in the world of coin collecting. If a coin weighs slightly more or less than expected, it could indicate a minting error. Some coins are accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet, while others may have production flaws during the minting process. These tiny differences are often the first clue that a coin could be worth far more than its face value. The real reason a coin like this can become so valuable comes down to rare minting errors and unusual production varieties. During the minting process, even a small mistake can create a coin that stands out from every other example. Some 2007 P Jefferson nickels have been discovered with doubled dies, where parts of the design appear duplicated. Others have off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, or unusual textures caused during production. There are even rare examples struck on incorrect planchets, which can dramatically change the appearance and weight of the coin. These minting mistakes are extremely rare because the United States Mint uses strict quality control systems. Most flawed coins are caught before they ever leave the mint. But every once in a while, a few error coins escape into circulation unnoticed. Those are the coins that become legendary among collectors. Now imagine the moment someone discovers this nickel. It might be sitting unnoticed in a jar filled with loose change. Maybe it's handed over during a simple purchase at a gas station or grocery store. At first glance, nothing seems unusual. But then something catches the eye. Maybe the lettering appears doubled. Maybe the strike alignment seems slightly off. Maybe the coin feels different in weight compared to a normal nickel. That single moment of curiosity changes everything. The coin is taken for closer inspection. Under magnification, the unusual features become more obvious. Experts carefully examine the surface, the strike, and the overall design. They weigh the coin to confirm whether it matches standard specifications. After detailed testing and analysis, they determine that the coin carries a genuine minting error. At that moment, the coin transforms completely. What was once a simple 5-cent piece becomes a rare collectible with extraordinary value. The scratches and circulation marks no longer matter. In fact, they add character to the coin's story, proving it survived years of unnoticed use before finally being discovered. As word spreads among collectors, excitement grows quickly. A rare 2007 Jefferson nickel with a verified minting error is not something that appears every day. Modern error coins are highly desirable because they prove valuable discoveries are still possible even today. Soon, the coin is prepared for auction, where collectors from different places are eager to compete for ownership. The auction begins quietly, but it doesn't stay that way for long. Bidders immediately recognize the rarity of the coin and begin placing offers. The value rises from hundreds to thousands, then climbs even higher into the tens of thousands. Each bid increases the excitement in the room. The coin is no longer seen as just a nickel. It has become a rare piece of modern numismatic history. The unusual minting error, combined with its authenticity and rarity, makes it one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels collectors have seen in years. The tension continues to rise as the auction nears its end. Collectors push the price higher and higher, determined not to lose the opportunity. Then, in a moment that feels almost impossible, the final bid reaches $80,000. A circulated 2007 Jefferson nickel in fine condition has transformed into an unbelievable treasure. A coin once worth only 5 cents is now worth more than many people earn in an entire year. It's difficult to believe that such a small and modern coin could carry so much value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. It proves that age alone does not determine rarity. Even modern coins can become incredibly valuable when they contain unusual features or rare minting errors. What makes this story even more exciting is the possibility that similar coins are still out there. Hidden in jars, drawers, cash registers, or maybe even in your own pocket right now. Most people never take the time to closely inspect their coins. But as this story proves, sometimes the smallest details can lead to the biggest discoveries. If you ever come across a 2007 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark, don't ignore it. Take a closer look at the design, the lettering, the strike, and even the weight. Even in fine circulated condition with scratches and wear, it could still hold incredible value if it carries the right rare characteristics. A professional evaluation could reveal something truly life-changing. This next coin, the 2021 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark. It looks completely ordinary. It has been in circulation, showing light scratches across its surface, the shine slightly faded from use, and the details softened just a bit. It sits in what collectors would call good condition. Most people would spend it without hesitation. But what if that same nickel could actually be worth $50,000 in today's auction market? That's where the story becomes truly surprising. The Jefferson nickel has been a part of everyday American currency since 1938, and even in modern years like 2021, millions of these coins are produced and released into circulation. The 2021 issue, struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the P mint mark, was made in huge quantities, meaning it's usually considered common. People use these coins daily, toss them into jars, or ignore them entirely. But within those millions, there can be rare exceptions, coins with unique features that make them stand out from the rest. Now take a closer look at this specific 2021 P Jefferson nickel. It has clearly been used. The surface shows small scratches from circulation, the metallic shine is still visible but not perfect, and the edges show slight wear. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson is still easy to recognize, though not as sharp as when it was first minted. The reverse design, featuring Monticello, remains visible, carrying the familiar look that has defined this coin for decades. To most people, it's just a nickel. But hidden within this ordinary appearance could be something rare. One of the most important details collectors always examine is the coin's weight. A standard Jefferson nickel is expected to weigh approximately 5.0 grams. This detail might seem small, but it can reveal something unusual. If the coin's weight is even slightly off, it could indicate a minting error, such as being struck on the wrong planche or having a production flaw during the minting process. These kinds of differences are rare and often the first sign that a coin could be valuable. The real reason a coin like this can reach such a high value lies in rare minting errors and unique production anomalies. During the minting process, even a small mistake can create a coin that is completely different from the standard version. Some 2021p Jefferson nickels have been discovered with unusual characteristics, such as double design elements, off-center strikes, die cracks, or even being struck on the wrong metal planche. These errors are not always easy to spot, especially on a circulated coin with scratches, but once identified, they can turn an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Now imagine the moment this coin is discovered. It might be sitting in a jar of loose change, mixed in with dozens of other nickels, or even handed out as change at a store. At first glance, nothing seems special, but then something catches the eye. Maybe the design looks slightly doubled, maybe the alignment is a bit off, or maybe the weight feels unusual. That moment of curiosity leads to a closer inspection, and eventually, the coin is taken to experts for evaluation. Authentication is where everything changes. Professionals carefully examine the coin under magnification, checking its weight, its strike quality, and any unusual features. They confirm whether it carries a genuine minting error or rare characteristic. Once verified, the coin is no longer just a circulated nickel. It becomes a rare collectible with significant value. As word spreads among collectors, interest begins to grow rapidly. A 2021p Jefferson nickel with a confirmed and significant error is not something that appears often. Collectors understand that modern coins with rare features are especially exciting because they prove that valuable discoveries can still be made today. Soon, the coin is prepared for auction, where serious buyers are ready to compete. The auction begins quietly, but it doesn't stay that way for long. Collectors recognize the rarity and begin placing bids. The price rises from hundreds to thousands, and then into tens of thousands. Each bid brings more energy as collectors compete for ownership of something truly unique. The tension builds as the price continues to climb. This is no longer just a 5-cent coin. It is a rare discovery, a modern treasure created by a small minting mistake. The scratches and wear no longer matter. What matters is the rarity and the unique characteristics that set this coin apart. And then, in a moment that feels almost unreal, the final bid reaches $50,000. A scratched, circulated 2021p Jefferson nickel has transformed into a life-changing discovery. What once seemed like ordinary pocket change is now an extraordinary collectible. It is difficult to believe that such a small coin, something most people ignore, could hold such incredible value. But that is the beauty of coin collecting. It proves that rarity is not always about age. Even modern coins can become highly valuable if they carry the right features. What makes this story even more exciting is the possibility that coins like this are still out there. Hidden in plain sight, sitting in jars, drawers, or even in your pocket right now. Most people never take the time to examine their coins closely, especially modern ones. But as this story shows, those overlooked coins can sometimes hold incredible value. If you ever come across a 2021 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark, don't ignore it. Take a closer look at the details, the design, and even the weight. Even in circulated good condition, even with scratches, it could still be valuable if it has the right rare characteristics. A professional evaluation could reveal something truly surprising. This next coin, the 1976 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark. It has been used for decades, passed from one hand to another, collecting scratches and wear through years of circulation. The shine has faded, the edges show signs of age, and the details are slightly softened from everyday use. It sits in what collectors would call fine condition. To most people, it's just a common nickel worth 5 cents. But what if that same coin could actually be worth $150,000 in today's auction market? That is where the story becomes truly unbelievable. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American currency since 1938, and by 1976 it was already one of the most recognized coins in circulation. The 1976 issue from the Denver Mint, marked with the small die, was produced in huge numbers. Millions of these nickels entered circulation during America's bicentennial year, a time when special commemorative coins were receiving attention across the country. Yet the Jefferson nickel itself remained mostly overlooked. People spent them every day without thinking twice. Some ended up forgotten in jars, drawers, and old collections. But hidden among those millions of ordinary nickels were a few rare pieces that collectors would later chase with incredible excitement. Now take a closer look at this specific 1976D Jefferson nickel. The coin clearly shows signs of circulation. Fine scratches cover parts of the surface. The original luster has mostly faded, and the edges reveal decades of handling. Thomas Jefferson's portrait remains visible on the front, while Monticello on the reverse side still stands strong despite the wear. The coin tells a story of movement through time, quietly traveling from pocket to pocket without anyone realizing its potential value. One of the first details collectors examine is the coin's weight. A standard Jefferson nickel should weigh approximately 5.0 grams. This simple measurement can reveal something extraordinary. If a coin weighs slightly more or less than expected, it could indicate a minting error. Some coins are accidentally struck on the wrong planche, while others may experience production flaws during the minting process. These small differences can completely change the value of a coin. The true reason a coin like this can become so valuable lies in rare minting errors and unusual varieties. During production at the mint, even a tiny mistake can create a coin that stands apart from every other example. Some 1976D Jefferson nickels have been discovered with doubled dies, where the lettering or design appears duplicated. Others have off-center strikes, clipped planches, die cracks, or unusual metal compositions. There are even rare cases where nickels were struck on incorrect planches intended for different coins. These minting mistakes are incredibly rare because the United States Mint has strict quality control. Most flawed coins are detected before leaving the facility. But every now and then, a few error coins escape into circulation unnoticed. Those are the coins that eventually become legends among collectors. Now, imagine the moment someone discovers this nickel. It might be sitting unnoticed in an old coin jar for years. Maybe it's found inside a forgotten collection inherited from a family member. At first glance, it appears ordinary. But then something catches the eye. Maybe the lettering looks doubled. Maybe the strike alignment seems unusual. Maybe the weight feels slightly different compared to a regular nickel. That small moment of curiosity changes everything. The coin is taken to experts for closer examination. Under magnification, the unusual features become more noticeable. Specialists carefully inspect the strike quality, the surface details, and the overall structure of the coin. They weigh it precisely and compare it to official mint specifications. After detailed analysis, they confirm that the coin carries a genuine minting error. In that moment, the nickel transforms completely. What was once seen as an ordinary 5-cent piece becomes a rare collectible with incredible value. The scratches and circulation marks no longer reduce its importance. Instead, they become part of its story, proof that this valuable coin survived decades of everyday use before finally being recognized. As word spreads through the coin collecting world, excitement grows quickly. A rare 1976D Jefferson nickel with a significant verified minting error is not something collectors see every day. Because it comes from an older era of circulation coinage, the discovery becomes even more desirable. Soon the coin is prepared for auction, where collectors and investors are ready to compete for ownership. The auction begins quietly, but the energy quickly rises. Collectors recognize the rarity of the coin and start placing serious bids. The value climbs from hundreds to thousands, then higher into the tens of thousands. Each bid increases the tension in the room. This is no longer just a nickel. It has become a rare piece of numismatic history. The unusual minting error, combined with its rarity and authenticity, makes it one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels collectors have seen in years. The bidding war intensifies as the auction nears its final moments. Collectors push the price higher and higher, determined not to miss the opportunity. Then, in a moment that feels almost impossible, The final bid reaches $150,000. A circulated 1976D Jefferson nickel in fine condition has transformed into a life-changing treasure. A coin once worth only 5 cents is now worth more than many homes, all because of a tiny mistake made during production decades earlier. It's difficult to believe that such a small coin could carry so much value. But that is the beauty of coin collecting. It proves that hidden treasures can exist in the most ordinary places. Value is not always about gold or silver. Sometimes, rarity and history are worth far more. What makes this story even more exciting is the possibility that similar coins may still be out there, hidden inside old collections, forgotten jars, or tucked away in drawers waiting to be rediscovered. Most people never examine their coins closely enough to notice rare details. But as this story proves, even the smallest difference can lead to an extraordinary discovery. If you ever come across a 1976 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, don't ignore it. Look closely at the design, the lettering, the strike, and even the weight. Even in fine circulated condition with scratches and wear, it could still hold incredible value if it carries the right rare characteristics. A professional evaluation could reveal something truly surprising.